Hello, Tanks fans. I've got some pretty nice replays that I have lined up here. I actually got 4 of them that I want to show you guys. First one that I'm going to be putting up here for you is I'm in my E75 on Red Shire. Gotta say, tier 7 to 9. That's pretty nice when you're in one of these. In an E75 that can do 500 damage per shot, roughly. So, breakdowns of the teams. Teams are actually pretty even as far as distribution of kinds of tanks goes, except we have a couple more tank destroyers, while the enemy team has an extra heavy tank and a few more medium tanks. Other than that, we pretty much are even. Alright, at this point, I'm just kind of taking a look around, seeing where to go, because it's always tough to judge where to go right as the match starts. I always like to see where people on my team are going. So we'll hop into the fixed camera here. So I'm moving up along with this VK45B T29 Type 59. We have some enemy tanks spotted on the hill over there. Trying to get a few shots on these guys over here. Got sight of a light tank up there. And boom. First shot of the game, and I finish off the enemy light tank. That was a pretty good shot, I gotta say, especially since I wasn't aimed in all of the way. As you guys know, patch 9.6 is out, which this is a tough patch. It's tough. If you guys haven't been keeping up with World of Tanks lately, 9.6 pretty much put a general accuracy nerf on all tanks. So pretty much your chances of hitting targets on the move are lower. Shooting when not fully aimed in, you have less of a chance of hitting where you want to hit. That kind of thing. I can't really say I'm too upset over it. I mean, if you guys use a zoom mod, there's all kinds of them out there, then you guys are gonna still easily be able to hit pinpoint targets so long as the gun is accurate enough, and you can see targets close up enough with the zoom mods that you'll be able to just fine. Get a good. Well, that was a bounce off the T29 there. KV4 hits me in the commander's port there. Trying to I like how we have our T69 up there now, really putting a hurt, or really stressing out the T29 up there. KV4 doesn't seem to realize that there's a T69 behind him yet. T69 finished off one of the T29 to get a good shot into the side of the KV4's turret. Just gotta get loaded up again. It's one of the things is kind of a turn off for me with the final gun for the E75 is the reload is a little long. Ooh, this is a good shot. Right here. Not fully zoomed in again. I don't know, I feel like this is why I'm not too saddened by 9.6's accuracy nerf, because I mean you can still shoot fine. It's just you have an slightly increased chance of missing pinpoint targets, which... And unless you're shooting from across map, which, I don't know, a few of the shots that I fired here actually were pretty far distance. That's where you're really going to see it. When you're like 400 meters away or less, you're not really going to notice that much of a difference unless you're driving. And ammo rack. I love those. I really love when I ammo rack somebody, because that is just so much fun. Just see the turret pop off, and when you're close enough, it makes the whole screen just shake. Ah, it's glorious. Alright, we are down to a T30 and a T69, I think. Yep, and I really was hoping the T71 just would have rammed to the T69 there. Pretty decent match overall. Yeah, I took very minimal damage here. Just the one hit from the KB4 right in the commander's hatch there. Got a bounce off of the front there. And in my front mantlet, or front part of the turret, and on the side a little bit there. The E75 is just such a good heavy tank. And it's one of those tanks where if you don't know what you're doing, it'll be a nightmare for you. But once you learn how to play this tank, it is so good. I remember this one match I had in my E75. This was a little while ago, couple patches ago, I think it was. It was on Himmelsdorf, and I was holding off a road from the enemy team that was leading right into the capture point. It was in the A column. It's that back road there that leads up to the major hill. And I just was side scraping off the corner, and I literally held like 6 tanks in there because they just all stopped and were trying to shoot me, and every round was bouncing off the sides. I mean, you just have to side scrape it like that much. That much, where the corner of the tank there is sticking out, or part of the front of the hull is sticking out, just enough for you to aim around the corner. But this tank is phenomenal. If I had to ever recommend a heavy tank, a tier 9 heavy tank, probably be this guy right here, because it's really good. The STI, the Russian heavy, is also a pretty good heavy tank because it just has a massive amount of armor. Okay, that's enough digressing for this clip. We got a few more to go through, and well, let's go check them out. And here we are at the second match. We are on Tundra once again in the good old E75. This time we have a few tier 7, well, one tier 7, mostly tier 8s, and a few 10s. So this will be fun. Alright, so we have a Waffen, pretty much the waffle tractor is the common name for the WT off E100. The enemy team has one of those. We also have one, which is pretty nice. The enemy team also has an E5, the American heavy tank. Those things are beastly. You really gotta aim carefully when you're fighting those. Let's see, what else do they got? Once again, our teams are actually pretty evenly matched here as far as tanks involved goes. Alright, so we're actually gonna bump the speed up a little bit here, yeah. I'm gonna cheat a little bit, increase the video speed, so there's less of me just slowly meandering along. That's the one downside to this tank, is that it can be a pain to drive, especially uphill. When you're driving uphill, it is as fast or even slower than a TOG on flat ground. So be prepared if you're attempting to drive up some steep hills. Even minor hills like this, you just take a look at the speed. I went from 36 down to 20. Even down to 18 here. It's terrible. Best thing to do when you have hills like this on this map, go hull down. Try to be hull down, and the enemy is going to have a very tough time trying to penetrate your trying to get through your turret's armor. Get a good shot at the E75 over there. Fire a shot right into his treads. Do some good damage. Pulls back around the corner though. Almost got the reload. We got a T-34 up there. It was just sitting nice and pretty there. Get a low damage roll again. Average damage roll for this is like 500. Got a Tiger 2 moving up. Gonna concentrate on the T-34 though, because he's just, he's just showing his whole hull of a tank. Not even the front. He's even showing his side. And look at that. He just made it too easy for me to take him down. And I am hull down. The only part that they can see over there is literally my turret. So the only chance they have of doing any real damage to me is if they're using APCR and get lucky by shooting me in the front of the turret, on the sides of the mantlet, or in my commander's hatch. Or in the last clip I showed you guys where the KB4 shot me. Now the turret on this thing is pretty nice because you don't have to necessarily be looking directly at a tank to bounce shells off of your turret. Because the actual turret here, I'll show you in a top-down view here, it's pretty nice and curved. So you have a pretty good chance of bouncing shells off either way with this turret. Just don't show the pretty much the whole complete side or the rear of the turret to the enemy. That's where you can run into some problems. But if it's slightly turned, then it'll do a pretty good job at bouncing shells off for you. Got a shot at their WT, their waffle tracker. Get one shot into him. Low damage roll there, only 457. I love to see the 500 damage rolls. Those are get another shot into him. If you notice, I'm loading up a high explosive shell here. That's because on these tank destroyers, high explosive has a very good chance of penetrating through their turret because they have such few armor. And the high explosive shells, look at that, it did 660 base damage and lit them on fire. When you're fighting tank destroyers that have weak turrets like that, go high explosive. You'll just do a massive amount of damage. Same thing with if you're fighting SPGs. Load high explosive. You're going to get that better damage roll, and at the very least, you're going to be knocking around crew members, knocking them out, destroying modules on there. You're just going to make it a nightmare for them. Waiting for this guy to pull back up. But he's not coming, he's not budging, so I'm going to push up here. Loading APCR here. Got a T-30 right there. Waiting for him to back out so I have a shot on him. Almost have a shot, and he shows the side of his hull and almost take him out. Just 49 hit points left. If I would have had a 500 damage roll, he would have been gone. He would have been gone. Our IS-3 is rolling up behind him with 2 lows, lagging behind. Being a little cautious here. I know it's the end of the match, and I still have 1,000 hit points. Get a beautiful shot into the rear end of that T-30. It was lovely. But, even though it's the end of the match, I always play cautiously, or try to play cautiously as much as I can. Because I'd rather live and not take an unnecessary chance than pretty much go charging in guts and glory style and pretty much get killed. Because I wasn't paying attention. I'm just trying to charge through and find them all. Alright, they just have one medium tank left. He's up on the hill there. Run into the waffle tractor. Speed things up again on here because, This thing's slow. I'll be painfully honest. This thing can be pretty darn slow. Waiting here to see if I can get a good shot. Waiting for a spot, but I can tell you guys right now, he's behind that small rock up there. So, it's not going to work out too well for me to be able to get a shot on him. He's just not going to be able to come out. He's not going to come out there for me to be able to finish him off there. Just one more hit, and he's gone. That was another good match there. This time around, you guys got to see how this thing does with hull down tactics. It is phenomenal for that. This heavy tank can pretty much do it all for heavy tanks. On flat ground, you can get up to 40 miles or 40 kilometers per hour, which that's pretty decent for a heavy tank. And that's with the top engine. And the only bad part I don't like about it is going uphill. It takes forever. Armor on it is pretty decent overall. You can bounce all kinds of things on the upper glacis plate. I mean, look at that angle. That is ridiculous. That is a ridiculous sloped front glacis plate. It'll just be ricocheting things all day with that. Lower glacis, though, is a little... That's a good weak point. So you want to try to keep that covered from enemy fire as you can. This is a phenomenal tank for brawling as well. You can easily do that. You want to be cautious, as I was mentioning before, showing the side of your turret. If you have it slightly turned towards your enemy, then the curvature of the turret will be able to ricochet off, but I have that nice hole right there showing if you have your turret turned too much, they're going to go right through. Alright, we got 2 more clips to go through before we're done here. So, let's hop on to and for the final clip, we have the wait a minute. That doesn't look like an E75. That looks like a T14. Well, I guess we're not going to be doing a 4-for-4 E75 match. Nope. This time we're actually going 5 match. Tier 4 and 5 match. Taking a drive with the good old T14. It's Tier 5 American heavy premium tank. This tank is decent. There's nothing superbly good about it, but there's also nothing too terribly bad about it except for the gun. The gun on it is the M3 75mm gun. It's the stock gun off of the Lee and the Sherman. Not too... It's okay for Tier 5 matches. It's okay for Tier 5 tanks and Tier 4. Tier 3 tanks it'll destroy. But the nice thing about this tank is you have 100mm of armor in the front and on the turret, in the front of the turret. I think the turret is actually 110. And really the weak spot on the front of the turret here is that machine gun port. And you can side scrape with this tank fine with Tier 5 tanks if they don't have the really big outrageous guns like pretty much any Tier 5 tank destroyer. But like medium tanks and such, you can bounce shots with this thing easy. First shot goes right over the T1's turret. I was planning on going over to the B1 area and moving up that way, but seeing these guys here, I decide let's bunker down and go hull down, because the tank's just high enough for me to shoot over this rock, and I can actually do some side scraping here. Now, I do have the machine gun port exposed here, but at this distance, it's a hard target for them to pop out, shoot, pop back into cover. It's really hard for them to try to be that accurate without taking the time to sit there while I'm shooting them up. No, that was a bad shot there, because I didn't start. I'm trying to lead the target. Take a guess shot while it heads into the bushes there. Take another shot at the T1, and it bounces off the map. T1 shot misses. Take a look over at the M5 Stewart. Fire shot. Finishes him off. Take a fire at the Lee, and there goes the Lee. This is the damage on this gun. It does a decent damage roll for its tier. It does anywhere from roughly 85 damage up to, I want to say 120 is the max you can probably see this thing doing. It's relatively fast to reload, about 3 seconds to reload each round. So the damage per minute is pretty consistent. It's really good for that. That kind of helps make up for the gun's low penetration, because you can keep dishing out the rounds. It's starting to take fire from the Matilda 5 there. Let's see where he's popping me. No. This is what he has to look at. He's trying to hit for that machine gun port there, but he's not quite hitting in the right spot there.
We fixed the track. Get going.
Got close that last time. And at this point, I'm just literally taking guessing shots from the pretty much the red little marker you get when you're being shot at. I'm literally using that as my guide tool to figure out where he's at. Which, that's just a lot of guessing. Got a T-28 coming around here. This terrain is rather hilly. We'll kind of keep a little bit of a bird's eye view here. Matilda 5 or 4, whichever one it was, pretty much has me behind this rock here, because if he hits that machine gun port, he's just gonna start taking my health down real fast. Take a guess shot at where the T-28 is. No dice, so I gotta pull back and find him. See a little bit of his turret sticking over there. Tilda's over there, hits one of my treads, doesn't break it. It's nice. This goes my side, but it hits my turret and bounces off. Take this opportunity, or take the chance to get up here, take out the T-28. And put a nice shot right into his side. Now use this hill for cover from the Matilda over there. Take a wild fire. Take a wild shot there. Missed. Almost hit his tracks. Probably would have tracked him if it did hit him. Now I know he's behind that house. And it's just a matter of exposing him. So I start taking down this house one. Lord and behold, there he is. Bounce one shot off the front of his tank. Now the Matilda, that is a pretty decently armored medium tank itself. And it pretty much has the same armor on its hull that the T-14 here does. I found a nice weak spot right below the mantlet. Take another guess shot there. And another one for good measure. Still trying to figure out where he is exactly since he disappeared. At this point, I figured this isn't worth it. I'm just wasting ammo at this point. I need to take this guy out fast, because our guys are dying quickly. We're down to 3 guys, and they're up to... It's 3 to 4 right now. Pretty even, but it's a 3-on-2 fight. I need to finish this Matilda off fast. Scrape by him. Get my turret flipped around. Get a shot into his side. And... come on. One more shot. And I get him. Alright. At this point, we know that the KV-1 is down by our guys. Spot the T1 heavy tank over there. He's at 100% health. So I'm like, okay, I better deal with this guy before he starts trying to cap. Which, actually looking at what he's doing here, he's actually trying to flank AT2 He's actually moving into the riverbed to get a shot on the side of the AT-2 or the rear of the AT-2. That's a mouthful. Speed things up just a tad here. Alright, there's the T1. Now, like most American tanks, this tank has decent depression angles, so I'm able to just kind of peek a little bit over this hill and start plugging in shots into him. His first shot goes into the hill, I bounce off the front of his turret. His next shot goes into the hill, I shoot the hill. Get another shot into him, he bounces off my turret. Then I bounce, and he actually backs up here, which just gives me a beautiful shot on the side of his hull. I don't know why he wanted to back up there. If anything, he should have pulled forward. And I finish him off, taking very minimal damage. Now at this point, I'm down to 1 AP round. Luckily, though, I do have 20 APCR rounds on this tank, because I know for one thing, I do not want to be firing high explosive rounds at a KV-1. That is just a terrible, terrible idea, unless you're shooting a howitzer gun, or that's standard ammunition. So I immediately just load up the APCR, say screw it, I'm not even going to bother with my last AP round. Fire one shot, goes low into the ground. Looks like he has the 122mm gun there. I back up, don't want to take a chance, because that thing is pretty dangerous. At this point, it's just me and him. And get shot right into his rear, and boom. He's gone. Okay, that is the last clip here. Hope you guys enjoyed these 4 replays here. I actually got Top Gun in this battle, which was pretty nice. This was a pretty good battle. I wish I could have gotten the different perspectives here, but I don't have the free camera mod, so I can't just kind of browse around the battlefield. When I get more of these replays, I'm gonna get them out there as soon as I can for you guys to enjoy. I really love these moments. These are the matches that I just love to get all the time, because it doesn't matter if you win or lose. These are just fun matches, and that's what I like to get. I really enjoy getting these fun matches. Okay, that's enough wasting your guys' time. I'll see you guys when I get around to the next video. If you guys like this video, leave a like below. Comment some thoughts you've had during this video. If you want to, if you guys want to see some specific matches in a certain tank, I'll be more than happy to hop into one of those tanks for you guys and show you some. Probably gonna have to put up a list of all the tanks I have, so you guys get a better idea of what it is I'm rolling with. But that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and as I've already said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.